Welcome to C3 First Look, the final first look of this semester. I'm excited to be here with the one, the only, the Nate Dogg. Nate Dogg, it's been quite a season, both on the premier side and the open side, and we've got a lot to discuss here on First Look as we look through both the LAN and the open side. How you doing, sir?
I'm living the dream. I'm really tired. Happy the season is almost over as we have one final match left up in our open playoffs, and we're going to be showcasing that later tonight. But overall, it was a great season. I think it was a lot of fun. I think the teams had a lot of fun. Definitely things that could be worked on. Potentially, like getting the land location to have AC would be a major plus. But overall, I think it was a fun season.
People were just sweating, dude. I don't know if you can just give them that. I think they were probably just hot from that, to be in all honesty. But hey, listen, let's talk about the land. By the way, we've got the results here for day two. I know, it's completely different than day one for the most part. Some things that stuck out was USC in the Gamecocks. They dropped to the Niners esports a little bit earlier than we expected them. I thought they would perform a little bit better, but they had a rough day too. So, but I mean, take advantage of that if you're the Niners esports. That's what they did with that 4-1 win. Plus, on the top side, you saw that Winthrop and actually NC State got to the top side too, which is a bit of a surprise. But Winthrop kind of put them in their place too with the 4-0 victory. So I think the biggest surprise was probably Niner Esports for facing off with USC and getting the 4-1 win.
Yeah, I mean, and on top of that, I think if we kind of go down into the lower rounds, I feel like a lot of the results was very surprising. I feel like the overall weekend as a whole was a lot of 4-0s. Then it got very interesting toward the very end, but I think the USC fall off needs to be studied. They came out swinging all season long, then just kind of faltered at the last second in on the championship day and on during the bracket. So maybe they can bounce back eventually next season. I know it's gonna be interesting with Og leaving, but I think we couldn't have had a better game seven though.
Oh, for sure. And of course, mentioning the game seven in the finals itself when Winthrop was perfect all the way through, which is makes it even kind of more mind blowing that Niners Esports not only pulled it off, but did so in such a fashion that was kind of heartbreaking for Winthrop there, right? And when you have that perfect bracket all the way through, as you can see, it was interesting, to say the least. Niner Esports was ready to go day two. They only dropped 4 games on day two. Day one was completely different because it looked like they were a little bit lost, to be honest. So I thought they really pulled it together. But that finals was nothing short of incredible as far as being able to watch these two teams kind of go at it. Winthrop forcing that game six and the way Niners Esports was able to prevail afterwards was something to speak of for sure.
Well, yeah, I think the one thing I got to shout out is the Niner Esports and their determination. They got down to match point, and you could see the frustration start to set in. But good old Coach Big Man Knight asked him, "Is do we call a timeout?" And I can't say Big Man's exact words. Let's just say it was a little fruity language that's saying absolutely not. And they ended up winning the next two in full confidence in a pretty dominant fashion. I felt like. And if Winthrop is watching this, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Shout out that Twitter feed if anyone is knowing what I'm talking about, but I'm not gonna say it. Not gonna mention it. So
Man, oh man. Yeah, and that's just like it's kind of like insult to injury as well. Having this happen 2 semesters in a row. If there's anybody that really needs to bounce back, I feel like it's got to be Winthrop, especially with the way it's ended and how close they've been and how dominant they've been as well. I mean, Monster King, there's huge question marks early in the semester and literally silenced every single critic because they were almost perfect. Again, 6-1, which a lot of teams going into land were. But Winthrop in particular, I thought like when they looked great, they looked fantastic. And there was just a couple of games against Niner Esports where you said it got away from them for sure. So I don't know if it's like the pressure, but it kind of feels to me that way. Like maybe they break under it.
I know what the problem was. I know what the problem was.
All
All
right, let's hear it.
season long, I hated on them. All right, I was a D1 hater all season long, and then in the finals, I went, I believe in you guys because I can't
Mm,
let Charlotte
yeah.
or Niner Esports win again. I said, I believe in you. And they lose in game seven. So maybe I should have just kept hating or something. That was the only thing that changed for them. What was my lack of hate for them all season long?
Last thing I'll say here, as well about the land day two. I felt like the Wolfpack, like NC State, were the gatekeepers of the top three. Right? It's like they were under that threshold, but they couldn't take a game or literally could not take a game off of any of the top performing teams, unfortunately. But like any other team, they literally took care of business. I mean, Clemson gave them a run with winning 3 games. They forced them into Game 7, but NC State does seem to be that threshold and continues to live in that exact same realm. For the past couple seasons too.
Yeah, I think out of every team here that went to the land that competed in the bracket, I think NC State was the most shocking one. I think they had a great turnaround and kind of great display of what they've been putting together all season
Oh
long.
yeah.
Obviously, I got to get a huge shout out to Colson and his absolute like monster energy he was bringing into the actual arena. As
Yep.
production goes, that's my man. So we got to shout out Colson there, but um. I think NC State had a great run. Even though they didn't finish third, they did a great run.
No,
So
I agree. Yeah, great run as a whole. Plus, they're a relatively young team, so like, and Maple showed up and was incredible. I thought for day one, and in day two, they got a little bit of a slower start. But I mean, you're going up against Winthrop, so like, what else are you gonna do? You know what I mean? That's tough. But Rocket's young, literally a freshman, so going into sophomore year, so they'll have him back if he chooses to stay. So they have a lot cooking for NC State, especially if they can get everybody up to speed the way they played day one. Dude, they are going to be really good, I think. So that's I really enjoyed land and everybody who showed up too. A big thank you goes out to every single person, whether you're a parent, whether you showed up for the networking event too, which I thought was super cool too. We got to connect with a lot of colleges, but also like some high schools were there too. And some organizations to kind of check out what it's all about. So we plan on doing more of those, by the way, in the future. So I thought that was a good, first showing of that too.
absolutely, I would agree. So if you want to stay up to date on Carolina events, be sure to check out the CEA. If you don't know what that is, be sure to message me and I can help you. Um, it's going to be our little hub for any type of events happening in the Carolinas. So be sure to check that out. But jumping topics here, Chris. We do have one final game left of the season here on stream. It's going to be the Lander University versus UNC Charlotte Academy Rocket League in their Open Challengers playoffs. Their final
That's right.
match.
I'm excited for this one for sure. UNC Charlotte's bringing yet another team, has lots of depth. Their white team coming in, the Academy white team. Um, I mean, both these teams coming in perfect. They're actually the number 4 seed and got through. Of course, during the regular season, there was here and there, we're looking to tighten up the Open series as well to be um, almost as competitive as the Premier Series too, or at least have some similar vibes to some degree, from my understanding. But Lander's been extremely strong too. Won 4-2 over USC Sandstorm, as we bring that up, as you can check out. 4-2 over them. But UNC Charlotte, their Academy White team's only dropped one game as well. So I think this is going to be a heated matchup from what we know.
Yeah, I mean, I know I was talking to Faust a lot in the behind the scenes about how his team's been performing, and I know he's very excited to see how this one goes. I know throughout the season, apparently they only dropped like I think it was a one series, and it was to Coastal Carolina. But with that being said, Coastal Carolina did get 4-0'd by UNC Charlotte in round two, or I guess in the semifinals. So I'm curious to see if they're going to bounce back from that. But who knows? Maybe this one can be an absolute monster of a game for Lander because we do have believe it was I think it was Darko. He was telling me is pushing the all-time scoring leader at Lander University. So with the season ending right here, I'm sure he's going to be trying to get as many as he can.
Oh, definitely. That's something to eyeball for sure. And, it's awesome as a program, as you're growing a certain title, for example, like Lander in Rocket League. Whenever you have somebody performing like that, does showcase not only them as a student and player, which is dope, but then like on top of that, like you become a leader and like you can really inspire others to really step up in that place. So I'm excited for Lander. I think they'll have their hands full because that same Coastal Carolina Academy team, it was a 4-0. I don't know the story behind that series or how it went, but the Academy White team kind of taking care of business there. UNC Charlotte and that club team facing off with Lander is going to be a really strong matchup there too. Final thoughts here on the final episode of First Look, Nate. What you got?
It was a fun season, ladies and gentlemen. We will be sure to see you all in the fall when we kick things off. There's a lot of changes coming. First things first for anyone who is watching, if you weren't aware.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Open Division Championship of the C3 Esports League. I'm McMaster, alongside me, Bearlight. You already saw Bearlight a little bit earlier through the pre-show and whatnot. You haven't seen me. I'm glad to be here. And Bearlight, we have a great matchup in front of us. UNC Charlotte trying to win in multiple divisions. Can the Academy team get it done while Lander tries to have their all-time leading goal scorer in Darko, or I guess trying to crown a new all-time leading scorer, I should say. It's stories on both sides of things.
Yeah, no doubt. So UNC Charlotte is looking to do the vertical integration versus Darko, who's trying to absorb horizontally how many goals he can and get that record too. So it's almost like, teamwork across all lines for UNC Charlotte as their Academy White team going against Lander here tonight. See if they can't get that win. But Lander University, feed the beast, man. Darko's been incredible throughout the entirety of his career at Lander. Why not a big performance here to try to get that record broken as well?
And the number that we're looking for, the magic number for Darko, is 15 goals to tie. Now, it is a best of 7, so it is possible. However, they have a little bit more of an important goal in front of them, at least as a collective team, and that is to take down this championship. The teams are ready to go. We are just about ready to hit the field. UNC Charlotte's Academy team looking to do what their varsity team could do, taking down a division championship, while Lander looks to A, win it all, and B, crown themselves a new all-time leading scorer. Set for 7 games. We'll see if we reach it. It's UNC Charlotte Academy and Lander.
Hunter and Dropstick joining Darko in orange for Lander. OTHMC, Cloak, and Euphoria light up for UNC Charlotte as we get things underway here in the Open Series Championship for C3 Esports League. Game number 1 heated a best of 7. A tale of longevity for these players. You already see UNC Charlotte putting one on the board early with a 1-0 lead.
That was about as fast as you could ask for. A mere 18 seconds in. Cloak with a great pre-flip to get the ball into the corner to start things out. And Oath going underneath the final defender. Easy start for UNC Charlotte. That's exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah, just pretty clinical there. And you saw the defense was there from Lander as well, but they were looking to scramble to get that goal line save. Wasn't able to quite get there in time. And now they go right back to work. As you see, Cloak did not get the flip preset, so Lander was able to challenge there at midfield. Great challenge to push it down the length of the pitch and force UNC Charlotte White to be back there. But Dropstick, early, late challenge, shot taken, but a big save there on the goal line as well.
Hunter, though, got a little bit too far upfield, had to backflip and retreat. Dropstick will try to collect possession in front of his own net. Has a little bit of boost to work with. The early challenge does hit off of the post. Another scary moment for Landers. They've been pressured into their back half, I should say, and even back third. A little bit more than they would like through the first 60 seconds. It'll be Dropstick trying to offer up something on offense. Darko the follow off the backboard. Dropstick hunts for bumps, does not find any. Could have possibly taken the shot, but regardless, Lander, they really do love their physical plays. We've seen it all throughout the course of this season. Do not be shocked if they end up being successful, but that's an unsuccessful double commit from UNC. And it is Darko finding the first of 15 needed.
Looking for that record for sure, and Cloak just didn't quite get the touch they wanted, and of course Darko's there. He's always there, seems to be at least. Yes, sir, Darko up to that first goal, and more importantly for Lander, of course, is the fact that they equalized with 3:50 left, plenty of time in game number 1, and they found it. And have certainly settled in and not let this game get away from you, because Niner Esports White looked hot early, but they kind of cooled off a little bit as Lander was able to kind of get to it, especially with the midfield presence we've seen from the entirety of this team.
Yeah, it's going to be a very long feeling out process between these two teams. Again, a long series in front of us. A lot of time for adjustments to be made. Lander having to make the first of which after getting that first goal scored against them. Oath does have to make a 0-boost save as now Lander seems to have a little bit more consistent offense. It's Hunter looking for the bump off the backboard. He does find one defender, but Cloak will guide the ball towards safety only as far as Darko. Euphoria towards the sidewall. Dropstick once again into the corner, hunting for more demos. Does get a light bump on the Cloak, just moving him out of position. But still, Hunter's able to muscle his way through. I thought Cloak had that covered, and I would be incorrect.
I did too. I think the card tilt at the very end didn't really do him favors. There's Euphoria was in the way too, but Hunter, I mean, credit where credit's due. Top of the box, found a little bit of seam, and that's all you need to place it in the back of the net later. Up at 2-1 now in this game number 1 with back-to-back consecutive goals, just 50 seconds apart.
And now Euphoria looks for a double tap of his own, just off the post. Both Oath and Cloak, again, a double commit. UNC Academy, we're seeing that a little more than certainly they would desire right now. A little bit of miscommunications coming through, but that 51 will force Lander all the way back to their corner where Dropstick takes a little possession. 50 up against Cloak is lost into the corner. Hunter, the turn. Light touch, just keeping the ball out of the hands of any shooter on the side of UNC Academy. Darko, one touch off of Oath, sails its way towards the other side of the field. Euphoria up high against Hunter, does win the race to the ball. Switching sides once again. Oath, possession, Dropstick to intercept. The ball remain at midfield, and now UNC Charlotte looks to set up shop.
And leaves it for Euphoria. Got him the bite as well. Good thing Dropstick was there for Lander. As they swung around in time. Great support on the back line with that rotation. Clean, trusted, and able to reorganize things here for Lander. As he'll fall back into the hands of Hunter. Tries to play it up, but Euphoria stood in his way. And now you've got Darko to the corner as well. But Oath was good for the challenge. And we'll leave it for Cloak. It gets past him, leaks through. But Euphoria was still on the play too. And Darko pops it there off the back wall. Looking for support, but nobody stepped up for Lander, and that allowed this Niners esports team to get up and in their way. Now they've got an opportunity, and Cloak will finish. A slip up from Lander actually cost him on the other end.
It looked like Dropstick and Hunter actually got tied up at the mid boost. I think they spun each other around and thus put themselves out of position. The 2 versus 1 for UNC Academy is going to be just far too easy to execute upon. 2 goals apiece, a minute 45 left. It really does feel like anyone's game here in game 1.
You got to be able to find those chances and finish them if you're Lander. Otherwise, this Niners esports white team is too deadly. Has been all open series long throughout the year. In the Challengers division specifically. Oath will tap it down. This is found by Dropstick. Had lots of room to operate too, and that pinch will catch them by surprise. And Lander back on top here in game 1.
Another unfortunate 50 going up against Niner Academy. Cloak just getting a little bit high on the ball. And Euphoria just never expected it. Floats over his head, a minute 22 to go. Lander love having that goal. It doesn't matter how they're scored. All that matters is that they are scored. They'll take that one in stride and look to possibly build off of it, off of the kickoff. It's Darko with possession off into and kickoff, and he'll take it the whole way himself. His second puts his team up by 2.
And it's a beauty too, just off the kickoff in full control, and was so confident going up to get that, just an extra touch. Didn't get a lot on it, but you didn't need a whole lot. As Euphoria was trying to swing back, it didn't have that support. I believe a demo, on that far side was able to free up enough time for Lander to feel good. And they're off to the races now with this 2-goal lead. That's a slip up though. Euphoria's got an open net. Darko recovers and a big save.
That is huge. That would have been a huge momentum shifter back in favor of UNCC after giving up a couple of very closely timed goals. It'll be Euphoria from his own corner looking for teammates in the midfield. Cloak slows it down. Oath up next does beat Darko, but he has Hunter in support. He's able to get the save just above the crossbar. Cloak now on the follow. Dropstick out wide. Euphoria back in off the backboard. And he follow-up touch. Yes!
Oh.
And although it was a team save, I do believe the defender would have been there, so Charlotte shouldn't feel too bad about themselves. But right here, it's a golden opportunity. They have to convert, and Hunter make sure that they don't.
Cloak directly back in. Quick turnarounds found by Darko. That was a crafty touch for Euphoria to keep it here in the zone and force Dropstick up his own back wall, and even had to use some boost to try to get up to it, even though it was just a drive up the back wall. That way they could get the timing correctly and get it out of their zone, which they don't really need to do. That's a laser fire, but it goes high. And now you see Niner Esports Academy Whites running out of time, down to 10 seconds left. And yep, with that one, we'll secure game 1 here for Lander with a 5-2 lead with 8 seconds remaining.
Yeah, as if 8 seconds wouldn't have been enough when being down 2 to begin with, but now being down 3, yeah, this one is done and dusted. Lander able to have a bit of a comeback as the first goal was scored early on by UNC Charlotte, but from there, Lander really did take control of this game, especially within the last minute or so. Also going to try to find himself one more, but he's got no boost in the tank, and that clear will ensure things game 1 in pretty dominant fashion to Lander Esports.
They certainly prevailed, and even when times where they looked like they were slipping up from time to time, they were right back to where they wanted to be. They felt confident throughout, yes, but there's a couple open doors they left for Niner Esports Academy White. So I'm really willing to give this Niners Esports team a chance as they look to kind of bounce back. Number one, because the shot count was so even. In fact, they actually won it by 1 shot in that regards. But you got to be able to find a way to limit the grade A chances. Lander was able to find more of them whenever that midfield presence finally showcased itself, which wasn't until about a minute in to that game number 1 that's when we saw things shift. That's when Lander put back-to-back-to-back goals there too. Plus, they were good on the kickoffs in addition to everything else. So they were winning the little battles that seemed to matter a little bit more. So that's why they found that success in game one, in my opinion.
That, and I think Charlotte had a couple self-inflicted wounds. I saw a few too many double commits, both offensively and defensively. They got to tighten that up. The miscommunications cost them in a couple moments, as well as some rough 50s that went against them. But, sometimes that'll go for you. Sometimes it won't go for you. You got to take your wins where you can, and your losses, you got to move on or learn from them. And UNC Charlotte, after dropping that game by 3, they're going to have to learn pretty quickly because Lander, they've shown throughout the entirety of this regular season through the Open Division that they can kind of run through whoever they want as long as momentum's on their side. It's well and truly behind them. They have wind in their sails. Darko's already on the board with 2. Everybody scored that game. Everyone looked very, very good. It was just that first outlier of a goal at the very beginning that cost them, and they were able to just fight back as is.
Yeah, and then obviously you want to come into this next game with a head of steam and showcase that you can have those same similar starts if you're Niners Esports, and then really start to gain the ground running and then be able to hold on to what you're able to establish in that first little bit. So that's what we're looking for when we talk about these two teams. It's certainly about that consistency level. And nobody was more consistent than Niner Esports White when we talk about the open playoffs. They went 4-1 against Chapel Hill. Then Coastal Carolina, not a problem, went 4-0. That's how they landed in the championship. So they can win games, not only that, but win handedly. So this team has that confidence. They have the ability, but Lander was just all around a better and more consistent team. Played the full 5 minutes, which is always important, but even more so when it comes to pressure situations like a championship event like we're seeing in front of us.
And again, this is set for 7. We'll see who exactly is able to take it down. It is Lander who find themselves an early advantage in this series, being up 1-0. But Charlotte definitely had life in that last game. It's not as if it was a complete shutout. Again, they scored first and were able to score a second time. But they have to continue to build upon it and start to limit the offense from Landers. Euphoria look for the early reset off of the kickoff. Offense coming through. Darko, a little bit awkward. Shot just off the bar and out. Darko's able to guide it towards safety. Cloaks threatening early.
Yeah, that was something else. They had their hands full, but Darko calmly collected it onto the hood of his car and dribbled it out. But still able to kind of squeak by. And this one will find its way back as Oath will push it in. This should go off the corner. Read available, but Darko is able to find it just in time. But by the time Cloak gets to it, tries to punch it off the corner. It is read by Darko. He'll be challenged, though, as Euphoria is on it already. A slight touch, looking for Cloak, far side, but he was kind of handcuffed. It looked like he froze a little bit when he saw Hunter back, and that opportunity will go by the wayside, and Lander will thank him for it.
Yeah, I thought with his forward position he would be playing the miss, but I guess that's simply not the case. He was not able to find it after the miss came through from the defense. He does find a block up against Darko. He'll be up next to the ball as well, with Cloak waiting in the midfield. Now Dropstick, the turn. A little bit of a team-up coming through from Euphoria and Cloak, but Oath's able to clean up the mess. Now up against Darko, looks to play possession. Oath, infield once again. Darko guiding out wide. Dropstick with a lead blocker out in front. Darko hunting for bumps. Cannot find any against Cloak. 50 finds his way right towards Darko. Cloak to clear downfield. Hunter's simply going to retreat and try to start his offense from ground zero.
Able to get boost in the tank as well. Niners have done a great job of being able to kind of solidify their control of the boost pads whenever they get going. So there's only a few times where you really want to prioritize boost. That's a good one, though. Wide open net there. Dropstick will capitalize here. Lander goes up again here in game 2.
Well set up by Darko, getting the pop over one defender and to the backboard. Cloak just did not quite have the pace behind the ball, leaving it open for Dropstick to find the first for Lander. The momentum continues in their favor. A little over 90 seconds have gone by in this second game as Euphoria looks to have an answer back off the kickoff. Does miss from the sidewall, but does get a bump out in front of net, making Hunter a little bit awkward on no boost, but the pass towards Darko is successful. Cloak back to the corner where Euphoria resides. Light touch around one. Cloak and Euphoria, again, both on the ball. Charlotte, the Academy team right now, they're struggling avoiding these double commits. They got to find a way out of that.
And every little mistake, it seems to be just slight, but Lander's been able to make them pay in all sorts of ways. So certainly it's not all lost here. Plenty of time down 1. But you see Hunter pressing, and they're not letting up whatsoever. And Cloak has to go backwards here as well. Their communication could be a little bit stronger. I think that's how you find the lines and really start to patch up the little bit of mistakes and little holes and gaps that you've left for Lander here. As Darko goes right back to work, but it gets saved there from Oath to keep it out. Dropstick on it as well, but couldn't quite direct it on target. And Iron Esports having troubles trying to get it out. Hunter back wall as well. Extra touch, but that one forced wide as well.
When is the pressure going to be too much? Lander just staying in the blue half as long as they want. It will find its way over towards the Lander half of field, but only for, I guess we'll see how long. Charlotte are able to finally establish themselves some offense before Darko gets the clear. Now Pop, limited boost in the tank up against Euphoria. It's a light touch midfield where Hunter resides. Taking his time, trying to turn on the ball. He'll run out of boost. Cloak 50 by dropstick. Euphoria to take it on down. I really thought it was a great opportunity for Lander to score a second goal. They had a lot of bumps coming through. Boost seemed to be limited on the side of UNCC Academy, but now with 2 demos coming through, another opportunity arises. Oath is able to find the clear, and Charlotte's well and truly in this game, but they got to find something offensively.
Yeah, it feels like they're hanging on by a thread, and now you see it break through eventually. That pressure, it mounts, and then you start to crumble underneath it a little bit. It doesn't matter how effective you can be from like goal line saves or desperate saves. It's all roads lead to Lander finding more and more chances as you have to rotate deeper and deeper, not being able to establish that offense. That's how Lander was able to break through here for their second goal. And you're right. I mean, Niners Esports was there to make some saves, but eventually it all broke down, and Lander's kind of walking away with another game here if Niners isn't able to put one on the board pretty quickly.
Dropstick looking to add to the Lander tally. Instead, taking out wide. Darko from the corner, back in field towards Hunter. Shot denied by Euphoria. Cloak on no boost, getting a clear. Can't quite collect the mid, but will still the far corner as Darko once again finds the blue half of the field. Euphoria, nothing to work with. Hunter up high, up against Oath. Does get the dunk, but ends up finding its way away from the nets. Dropstick on the follow. Euphoria does get over the top. It could be an open net. Darko is able to close that lane. Another good opportunity for Niner Esports Academy, but just unable to put it through. They are finding dangerous opportunities out in front, but Lander continue to escape.
And there you go. You see them a pathway out. And it doesn't take a full tank of boost to be able to find those clears and be able to try to hold on to possession. We saw that from Darko there too. Those are the little things I'm talking about. Just being a little bit more efficient when those opportunities present themselves. That was also threatening, but Niners Esports able to get it out. And will have the chance to direct it on target. The original bid will be taken away, but OTH able to get to it and cut the lead in half. Still 20 seconds remaining in this game too.
And that's a lot of time to work with. Euphoria was positioned beautifully, and OTH is able to circle back and get there. Cloak was up as well. It felt like either of them could have taken that shot, but regardless, Niner Esports Academy do find themselves on the board and find themselves a glimmer of hope late in Game 2. What can they do off kickoff to try to find something? Darko goes underneath OTH, but will pay for it dearly. Back into the corner is Dropstick. Right off the corner, Euphoria out in front, cleared out wide by Hunter. Still late opportunities are available, and it's Darko with the full clear. OTH thought it would hug the wall. It does not. Darko puts the ball away and puts this game away.
Let me tell you something here, McMaster. Hunter named that for a reason. Did not get complacent, was out there targeting that ball, targeting that challenge to be able to get out there and deny anything from developing from Niner Esports Academy. That was an excellent play from Hunter in the front end to be able to get another tick up in the wheelhouse of Darko, who's still looking for that record, and Lander's looking for the championship as well. They've got a couple on the board already with a 2-0 lead over Niner Esports.
I mean, based on the way things are going right now, either Darko's going to have to pick up the pace or Lander's going to have to start losing some games if he wants to break that record. But that's the side quest right now. That's not the main goal of this series. The goal here is to win, and they're doing exactly that. Dropstick put up another couple of goals. The shots on the side of Niner Esports Academy were very limited. Only 1 shot per person compared to 7 total on the side of Lander. The offensive possession is absolutely in favor of Lander, but I mean, I guess when Niner Esports are able to break out, they are still able to find chances in front of net. How many more is it going to take for them, in order to actually get a game on the board? That's the real question.
Yeah, I'm considering, I'm thinking back, and I didn't get to see much of Niner Esports White. I might have been a little bit distracted by the shiny Niner Esports main team that came through and won the Premier side. I love that I'm getting to see them now. I'm wondering if this is an accurate representation, is what I was getting at. Because, this team, it seems like it would be a team that can really control the pace, be able to not toss away the ball in pure desperation. But there's been some times where they're just looking for a clear, hey, anything I can do to get this ball out, I will take. And then what you do, though, is you end up giving possession right back to Lander. They've been able to take it. by storm, or make a big save like we just saw from Hunter as well to deny and then have numbers the other way in transition. Lander's been able to beat you one way or the other, so the last thing you can do as Niners Esports is give away multiple shots or that many shots versus the ones that you were able to pull up. You got to find a way for your Niners Esports Academy to be able to find your way out of the zone. Find an outlet pass, find solutions there before you start focusing on just trying to clear the ball.
I'm wondering if maybe that zone, or I guess the flow state that Lander is currently in could be disrupted as they're the ones making a sub, as it turns out. Hunter subs off and Cook comes on. We'll see what difference this can end up making for this series or for this game. It's already a shot coming through on the side of Cook off of the pass that came through from Dropstick. But a Subwell being up 2-0 to me just seems to be an interesting decision. It didn't feel as though there were any adjustments that needed to be made on the side of Lander.
Yeah, they've been pretty rock solid as it stands right now. All you want to do is really force Niners Esports to prove that they can actually beat you in the first place, even though it was close in the first half of game number 1, and you're able to kind of inch your way back into it in game number 2. You want to find the results, and maybe it's here. Great job from Euphoria to step up in the box. All set up by OTH on the corner challenge here, make it 1-0 for Niners.
Pressure on top of pressure on top of pressure, just peppering the backboard with passes, and Euphoria is able to put it away. Defense caught out of position 36 seconds in, and this is the first lead that we have seen from Niner Esports White since game 1, which then evaporated and Lander ended up coming through. So for a fact the Niners are not going to want to give this one up, having already conceded a lead previously in this series. But as it currently stands, they do put themselves in a 1-0 goal advantage, and that lead will now be gone. It's Dropstick from beyond midfield.
Great recognition all the way back. It was Darko to spark that with a touch that I don't think Niners Esports expected there, as they kind of slept on it a little bit. And if you see an open net, you better hit it. And of course, we've seen that from Lander all year long. No exceptions to the rules when it comes to the finals for them. Plus, we're getting our first peek at Cook as well, who came in from Lander. So we're seeing a whole lot of things change here, too. We'll see how that develops and kind of plays into it for sure. As you mentioned, they've got their first opportunity, but that dribble will be answered by Cloak at midfield.
Darker now collecting that corner boost on the turn. Does end up losing the challenge. Euphoria comes in. Cloak takes it away from OTH, and it's unfortunately another double commit coming through on the side of Niner Esports. They still find themselves with possession out in front until Darko guides the ball towards safety, but those double commits continue to bite UNC in the rear, because what we're finding is if in that possession there was not a double commit, the third player would have been in a position to move up and end up taking the shot. With the double commit, there's no one left for the rebound opportunity. The offense fizzles out, and instead it's a 2-goal swing. Dropstick comes through to get his and the Bearcats' second.
And I like this, right? Because Darko's not focused on the goals. He's been dishing them out. Just great, fast, speedy play. And it might have even been a shot. I don't know. Went off that back wall, but it was in a perfect spot because you saw two surrounding you from the Niners Esports Academy's team. So that means that there's only one back. If you don't hit that shot, if it was one, you certainly put it in a great place for the rest of your team to swing around. And that's what they were able to accomplish here. And you're forcing them to go right back to work here. Niners Esports did find a little bit of a gap, but look in transition once again. The 1-2 punch, but a big save from Euphoria on the back line.
And they needed that too. Niner Esports, they really need something to start going for him. Instead, it's Dropstick who looks for a double, not on target, and Darko can't get around it on limited boost. Cook now on the turn, and look at all of the pressure that the Bearcats have been able to generate. The amount of time spent in the Niners' third of the field is insane, to say the least. Cook isn't able to get correct contact on this ball. He will get a successful challenge up against Cloak. Up next, OTH, double commit again, coming through on the side of Niner Esports. Darko being hunted, does get one touch out wide, followed from Cloak to the backboard. Is there another shot coming through? It is, but it is OTH being denied again by the defense of the Bearcats.
Niners Esports has been better at reacting, but they're leaving a wide open net, and Dropstick with a hat trick here in this one. Just over halfway played in game number 3, and Lander continue to cook. They feel no pressure being down early. They find another freebie. That hat trick speaks wonders.
Faust Main mentioned to us, of course, that Darko was on this generational run when it comes to the total goals in terms of, where he stands with Lander University as a whole. Darko seems to be not concerned about that record whatsoever. He's not letting it plague his judgment. He's not taking solo plays. As you had said, he is passing the rock. He is getting everyone involved. Assists on top of assists. He has 3 assists for all 3 goals right now. Might even be another out in front of net until Cloak gets the clear. But it's been selfless play on the side of Lander, as well as good team chemistry offensively and defensively that is winning them this game. They're not making little mistakes. They've been able to eliminate those at basically every single turn. They're not really missing the ball that much. I haven't really seen any double commits to speak about, honestly. The team just looks like a better, more well-oiled machine at present.
I've gotten to see Coach Faust actually at some of these events recruiting. I just caught Soda City Cup down in Lexington, down in South Carolina, in that area. And so has certainly done a great job in recruiting up to this point, finding players and being able to kind of house them and really build up a team. And it shows here as Darko will get another one here. That's the 4th of the series out of the 15, and right now 4th for Lander in this game. They get a 4-1.
Lander's sprinting to the finish line, and Niner Esports White is lagging behind right now. They just can't seem to find an answer for anyone on the side of Lander. They're flowing. They're, again, being down 1, immediately answer back with 4 unanswered. Could be potentially more depending on how Dropstick's able to handle possession of this ball, but it is Euphoria to take it away. Cook down the middle of the field. Cloak will end up popping that towards the sidewall where Darko circles back towards it. Hard off the corner wall, floating towards net. Cloak denying the shooter of any other opportunities. Now in transition. Niner Esports. Touch gets away from OTH. He doesn't make contact. It's out in front for Euphoria. Darko is able to deny. Only 60 seconds left, and it is another multi-goal lead for Lander that Niner Esports have to somehow overcome.
Just running off the clock on him at this point. Too many teams collapse whenever they get a huge lead in a series. We've seen it before, but right now Lander's given us no signs whatsoever. They've been better in the shot count. They've been doing the little things right. The boost control has been there. The midfield presence has been much larger than what we've seen from Niners Esports. If you're a Niner Esports fan, you have to start to see a spark at some point, and it's got to start even at the tail end of this game. It feels like you can't even wait till game 4 at this point in time. You want to at least catch a little whiff of momentum rolling into the next game, and it's got to start here right now. But Lander certainly is making a path forward here and going to have quadruple match point here as things wrap out in this game number 3.
Now Darko taking it towards net, ends up getting saved by Euphoria, but again, everything from here is academic. The time is going to waste on down. Darko's going to end up turning on the ball, trying to possibly find one more, really just put some salt in the wound. Euphoria gets a reset, but it's not going to matter. The ball drops. The Bearcats are up 3-0. And I'm trying not to sound like a Lander Glazer, but really, I do not know what kind of answers UNC Charlotte could present to Lander right now. The Bearcats seem kind of untouchable at the moment.
Yeah, there's nothing much to it except for to discuss like the little things that we've gone over already. Niners Esports just has to do a better job of being able to maneuver around it, the midfield presence. The way to do that is by when it's almost assumed that it's going to go air, you got to be able to keep it grounds, throw some head fakes, throw something in. When all else fails, you got to get physical. Like that's the last grounds of how I've seen this Niners Esports team from the 3 games that I've seen. I don't know how they played throughout the rest of the season. Something's got to change, though. Got to be able to discuss this. Not sure if they're going to use their timeout. I know you get 1. If I was UNC Charlotte, if I was Niners Esports, I would use it now. But not sure that they have the memo. We'll take a peek and see, but it's just going to be a mental reset here. Everything that's happened in the past, you've been having great starts to these games. I don't know what's happening, but once things get going, then things start to fall apart. They need an answer for sure. Need it now. It'll have to be by reverse sweep if they want to be able to get it done.
And I think the physical plays are honestly a really good call because we've seen them come through a number on the side of Lander Esports, and they have absolutely worked. I cannot think of many times where there has been even an attempted bump play on the side of Niners Esports. We'll see if they can turn things around. They're going to have to, as it is not going to have to be 1, 2, or even 3 games in a row. It's going to have to be all 4. A reverse sweep not required out of this Niner Esports White team, but it's Dropstick with the double to open things up. Have mercy, Dropstick.
They are failing themselves. Everybody on this team is. Darko had 3 assists last game and a goal to go to it. Now you have Dropstick, who had the hat trick last game, says, I'm going to continue that same vein. Lander looking strong, looking to close out the series here and now. Great start to this game 4.
Now Cook wants one on the board as well. Can't get it onto the first defender. It is Euphoria to get it away as a demo came through from Dropstick. Again, more physical plays now from Lander. Up against OTH, it is Dropstick taking away the ball. He's able to go around 1. Up against Euphoria. Tries getting the 50 out in front. Cleared out to the side where Euphoria gets the second touch to the sidewall. Centered out. No teammates available. Cloak being harassed around midfield. Cook now, no contact, ends up faking OTH, whether intentional or not, it was successful. The ball residing in the corner until Dropstick throws it on net. Euphoria putting in front of his own net, but thankfully for them, there's no shooter waiting in front.
Yeah, that was very fortunate. They usually have a person there. And these are what I'm talking about again. You saw Darko gonna try to pull the trigger, but everybody from Niners Esports was ready for it. They go right back to work. This time it's Cook to connect. A 2-0 lead for Lander.
It's just too much pressure. And look at the boost totals from everybody on the side of Niners Esports. 0, 0, 0. Nobody has anything. Can't get in position. Can't rotate in time. 2-0 for the Bearcats. There is 4 minutes left in this game. This has to be a goal, and it will be before he gets himself on the board.
Exactly what the doctor would. I mean, there is nothing else that you could accept if you're Niners Esports to try to get back into it, except for a very, very quick answer. And I don't even care. Like, there's 4 minutes left. The way the series has gone, it needs to happen here and now. I urged them to do it last game or early in this game, and they surrendered 2 in a row. Good sign for Niners Esports that they're at least keeping themselves alive despite the circumstances.
Yeah, they have to keep on fighting back. I'm not sure what it's going to take between the kickoff goals or getting physical. But regardless, it does seem as though they're trying to pick up the pace of play. As Dropstick gets towards midfield, Cloak was being harassed again by another player from the Bearcats. Euphoria up against Darko. Doesn't end up winning that challenge. It spikes off the corner and ceiling. Light offering from Cloak is answered by Cook. 2 players did go in what feels like the first double commit on the side of Lander, but no one there to punish on the side of Niners Esports. Euphoria towards the side wall is intercepted by Darko. Cloak around 2 will end up taking it back towards midfield and trying to establish offense for the Niners.
And that's the key, right? They haven't established the offense or kept it. And that's where they're finding these opportunities. The one that goes through the box again, Cook just has to chop at it to try to get it out. And Euphoria has been a big reason as to why Niners has at least stayed relevant to some degree here in this game, and looks to go right back to work. This left for Cloak. He's got plenty of space. Euphoria with the demo. The physicality we talked about. McMaster, they're showing up with it. Equal game.
What better way to try to take care of a 2-on-1 than simply eliminating the 1 and making it 2-on-0? Cloak, all he's asked to do is float it towards net, and he does so easily. Another rare double commit going through on the side of Lander, and I guess, you can never really get too comfortable in these series, especially not against a Niners team who, again, I'm certain have experience playing against the A team. They at least have to. So they face high-level competition, but right now they have themselves in a spot where they are the ultimate underdogs. They're going to have to continue to fight back. They still need at least 1 more goal in order to take a lead. We're approaching the halfway point of this game. Finally, the Niners again some momentum. We always got to watch out for Lander.
That's right, and Euphoria is trying to take it into his own hands at this point in time. There's another bump, and look at the control he's got in the air. Almost got that foot reset, directed that one on target. But Cook stood strong here for Lander, trying to keep them away from it. Even though you've gotten the 2-2 tie here at this point, you're still on edge if you're Niners Esports. Just 1 goal can put you in that threatening spot again, especially with 2 minutes left, but the shot's going to come. Euphoria again, and they will take the lead with 2:07 remaining.
It really feels like he's been the spark plug for any and all offense throughout the course of this series for the Niners. Finally getting another and getting a lead that has required more than 1 goal. This is the most goals that they've scored in any game so far this series with still 2 minutes remaining. Finally, some life, some wind in the sails of Niners Esports, but Dropstick looks to answer back up against OTH. No contact made from either. Euphoria left awkward as a result. Cloaking taking the ball towards the midfield line. A team bump comes through from OTH, but Euphoria still gets the ball guided into the far third. Dropstick, the turn, Euphoria waiting. Pop a little bit in field, but not going to be met from a shooter from the Niners.
And Cloak's waiting back to you. Low on boost. We'll go to the back wall to field this one. Trying to catch it in, reel it in. And the last thing you want to do is sit back and just try to hold on to the lead. If you're Niners Esports, you want to do it, make you successful, be up in their face, and not allow Lander to get the ground beneath their feet again, because they have certainly ripped it out, courtesy of Euphoria and the rest of the Niners Esports team, who will hang back here at midfield. It's loose, though. Darko tried to take a shot on target. It was a little bit wide. Demo out in front, though. Dropstick even stays back up here with 1:17 left.
And this is such a pure team effort. Darko to Cook. Then Darko finds the demo while Dropstick follows it up. Everyone required and everybody showed up for the Bearcats. That is beautiful chemistry and incredible precision to tie things up. 1:17 to go. They want the sweep. The Niners are fighting back, but Lander aren't going anywhere.
You know, we always say the open series here at C3 is the future of Premier, right? You have some players that will eventually advance their careers to that Premier mark. Some teams might even advance to the Premier side as well, depending on where their coaches want to go. This game has been a prime example of these players being capable of performing at that level here, McMaster. I'm here for it. This has been a great showcase so far, but right now, Euphoria, you put in all this work to try to keep this series alive, and you want the rest to kind of follow suit here and try to get this win so you're not left crying here at the end of this game.
Is still a threatening opportunity. Those dropsticks sent it downfield. OTH has to be precise and is traded demos. Temporary 2v2 on the field. 30 seconds to go. That's a bomb downfield. Cook up high. Cloak trying to read it. An ambitious challenge. Now Cook able to collect boost and get around another defender. Only OTH back. Shot towards net is past Cloak. Dropsticks third. The team's fourth. 23 seconds separate Lander from a championship.
That's crazy. 2 goals for 2 goals. Anything you can do, we can do it just the same, if not better. And for Lander University, a quick way, a snap of the fingers is all it took. But now off the kickoff, Euphoria has an answer for it. Equal with 20 seconds left off a kickoff goal.
Euphoria going bar for bar up against Dropstick right now. The answer is instant. It's immediate. And it's as if the last goal never even happened. Right back to a tie game as we reset for the ensuing kickoff. Both teams colliding. It's Euphoria and Dropstick. Lost into the back left corner for Darko. Sends the ball down into the opposite corner, looking to set up a teammate once more, and that's been the player that Darko's been for this Lander team, but the shot from Dropstick does not find the mark. Final 10 to go. Does either team have late-game heroics?
It's Cook that slows it down, but that actually plays in the Niners esports to be able to jump on it and reorganize in time. But Darko wants to keep it up. Has an opportunity here in the corner. Will be eyeballing somebody, but it will hit the ground over time here in this game. Number 4, Lander 1 goal away from being able to secure the Open Championship, and that was loose and scary for Niners esports, but they'll survive, at least for now.
Euphoria really went to cheat up hard on that play, as the cheat up goals for him have been very successful. He has 2 of them in this game alone. Was trying to find more, but could not. That's a double commit coming through from Niners Esports. The net looks to be open, but Darko's touch is light. He has no boost and no chance of getting more power behind the ball. Cloak on 0. Looking for OTH in midfield, but Dropstick's not going to give him a sniff at the ball. Euphoria back in once more. Darko, the follow. Light touch going to be met by Cloak. Good catch and dribble towards the sidewall. Does have teammates winning in the wings, looking to possibly go solo, but Dropstick has been such a good first-man challenger for these plays. That shot comes close, but no cigar.
Darko's got control, does flick past one. Euphoria needs to get there. Flick is going to be saved. And now the right back out here for Niners Esports. Tracking it back down. Around is their Cook as Oath throws it to the front there, but Darko is able to stand strong and shield that one away. To the back wall goes Dropstick. Plays it high, leaves it loose, but Euphoria was bumped off the play. Niners Esports gets to it, but Cook a bit clear.
All the way back downfield. Demo coming through from Cook onto OTH. It is Euphoria resetting with the ball. 51 by Darko in the corner. Immediately turns to possibly find bumps. It's Cloak instead on the turn. Out in front, Euphoria doesn't make contact, but Cook was just going to play patient anyways, look to play the possession game. Cleared out wide from the backboard. Cloak up with no boost. It's Darko to challenge. OTH down in the corner once more. Read by Dropstick towards the sidewall. Euphoria looking to have a turn. Successful around 1. Another team bump. Cook with the lead blocker. Out in front of the net. Shot is through. Game, series, championship. The Lander Bearcats take down Niners Esports.
They are your C3 Challengers Open Series champions. The Lander Bears are able to get on top of everything here and fight off the charging Niners for their championship here. What a game. What a game from both of these teams, but for Lander, what a series, right? That's why you win games early when it gets down to the grinds. Grind time, it's close. You got to be able to perform and finish out, and that's exactly what Lander did here tonight. Congratulations to them.
And you know, we at the very beginning of the series, there was quite a bit of talk, especially for myself, about Darko being close to being the all-time leading scorer for Lander. It wasn't the story by the end of the series. The story was about how collective of a unit this team really was. Dropstick was scoring everything left and right. Darko was setting things up. You had great performances from both Hunter and Cook as they each played 2 games in the series, definitely doing their part. That was a collective team effort. It wasn't about an all-time scorer. It was about putting the team first. They did exactly that, and they get the job done in as quick a fashion as you'd like. 4 up, 4 down, and the Bearcats win.
Oh boy, love it for the Bearcats, looking strong there, able to sharpen their claws and go after Niners Esports and deny their ability to get both the Premier and the Open Challengers victory there as well. So that was a fantastic way to end it, McMaster, for Lander. For Niners Esports, you put in a heck of work, a heck of a lot of work there. And for Euphoria, especially, certainly flexing the muscles there and showing up, and the rest of the team was starting to follow suit as well. You started to feel something cooking, but unfortunately for them, came a little bit too late.
Yeah, the kid's got potential, that's for sure. He was scoring seemingly everything for Niners Esports, whether it was off kickoffs, set plays, no matter what it was. If the shot was in Euphoria's hands, it was finding its way to the back of the net. Definitely a player to watch out for future semesters. And, for Niners Esports, it's unfortunate that this is how their season ended. But ultimately, again, you have a varsity team who just won their championship, again, frankly. And you have now an academy team that's basically following right in their footsteps by getting second place in the division. That is still a massive result. Nothing to be upset about. I guess, be upset that it didn't go your way, but regardless, still a season to definitely be proud of. And, watch out for these players in the future. As you had said, the Open Division, this is the future of C3 Rocket League. You can absolutely see some of these players in Premier come next fall.
Oh, you certainly can. I believe we have an interview. Is that right, production? I was not able to hear. We do have an interview, which we're going to go ahead and set up now. We'll listen to a man who had a couple hat tricks. Did fantastic job across the offense and also showed up defensively as well. Up dropstick on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere. Let's see what he has to say after this quick break.
It's just like, man, you got to have that time where you just like disconnect from the scene, just the race, like, and it's a race that I've created in my head, but you have to step away from it.
And welcome back to the C3 Esports channel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm McMaster. Alongside me is Bearlight, and alongside both of us was a goal-scoring machine on the side of Lander Esports. Today we have with ourselves Dropstick. Thank you very much for joining us. And of course first of all, congratulations on the victory. That was huge. You guys took it down in 4. Most of the games you made not even that close. But the third one started getting a little contentious. When it got to overtime during that 4th game, did things start getting a little nervy with the team, or was the confidence always there all the way through?
It didn't get more nervy. It got calmer. It's weird to say that, but when we hit that moment and we knew that we had that fresh start on that fresh kickoff, we just kind of knew as a group. We said, "All right, we got this. Let's just go score." And we knew.
Confidence spoke wonders. It really did. Like, you all looked sharp from the get-go, and you did look calm in that game as well. And throughout the series, honestly, we also understand that Darko is close to breaking the goal-scoring record. What does it say about the team that you kind of dropped that focus and just went for, hey, whatever makes us successful is honestly at the end of the day what we're gonna do? That was pretty awesome, man.
Yeah, those records, they're really fun things to look at on the side. All of us are keeping tabs on every single little piece of that. But at the end of the day, our goal was to bring home the trophy, and that's the only thing we had in our iron sights.
So let's talk you through the game here. Obviously, through the series itself, you get a sweep here in the finals. Number 1, is that what you expected? Number 2, what's kind of the vibes going on right now as far as the championship goes? We're gonna let you party with your team in just a little bit, but I'm kind of wondering what that was like in the communication lines when you knew you were gonna close out.
We didn't exactly expect a sweep because we don't go into games with that mindset. We go into games with the mindset of 0-0 every game, in and out until it is done. But as for energy, we did know Game 4 was up. We did know that the game winner was coming, and we have a crowd. They're hidden on camera right now, but there's a whole bunch of people in here that were very, very happy when that final goal went in.
That's awesome. I'm very happy for you guys that you're able to do that. And I guess lastly, now that you've taken down this championship in pretty dominant fashion, I guess what are yours and the roster's thoughts on the prospect of possibly moving up into the Premier Division next season, or is that a discussion that is for a later date?
It's a discussion for a later date right now. Right now, we have more games on the docket, one step at a time. But it's definitely not out of the range of what we're talking about right now.
I love the focus on the present, my man. I love it. And congratulations once again, ladies and gentlemen. That's been Dropstick, and that's all that we have for this evening's broadcast. I've been McMaster. That is Bearlight. That is Dropstick. And Lander, Bearcats taking down Niner Academy in 4 games. You all have yourselves a great night, and we still have, I believe, one more open division championship matchup left to be scheduled. So we'll have that later on down the line. Just pay attention for those dates on social medias and whatnot. Just, follow, turn on the bell, hit the notifications, whatnot. I've been McMaster. That's been Bearlight. That's Dropstick. For all of us here at C3, we'll see you next time.